River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Niner Nuts. I am Dan, here along with Eric. Eric, say hello.
What's going on, everyone?
Yes, we are back fresh from our bye week, and we have a lot to celebrate regarding a very specific player, one Christian McCaffrey, the reigning Offensive Player of the Year, not only got his bag, he got a contract extension. But today, depending on how you feel about it, he was named the next Madden cover athlete, which I am pulling up right here. There it is in all its glory. Look at that. That's an awesome picture for the deluxe edition. And then the standard edition is going to look like this, but the Madden on top. So congrats to him. I do want to talk about how we feel about the Madden curse in a little bit. Actually, you know what? Like, let's go ahead and talk about that here on the top, since I don't want to lose the audience with the nerdy numbers right off the bat. But no, I guess we'll split it that way. Just the Madden cover itself. I guess our history with Madden. I'm kind of in every other year when it comes to Madden. I managed to not play the one that was allegedly terrible with Lamar Jackson on the cover, but I've played just about every other one of them. The John Madden one, the Patrick and Tom shared one, just thinking the most recent ones.
Yeah.
I think my first Madden, because I never played Madden when I was in high school. I only started playing it when I was in college, and I think it might have been the Barry Sanders one. That might have been my first one.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think that was called Madden 25 for the 25th anniversary, but it should have been called Madden 12 or 13, one of those.
Yeah.
What's your history with Madden like?
Well, I have played Madden since it existed. I played Madden all the way back on the computer when it was the first computer game. And it was John Madden football on a computer, and you had the little sprites moving around, and it wasn't anything like what it resembles nowadays. And then when it broke out and achieved a lot of success and fame on the Sega Genesis, when it really started to get its popularity, I had all the Maddens on that and would buy them annually. I would scrape together all my savings, and my birthday is in June, so I would get my birthday money and basically just hoard it until August rolled around, and then pick up the new Madden when that came out. And play that religiously. There was a point in time where Madden was really the only game that I played on a video game console, and it would just be something I would play all the time. I would play season after season after season after season, and just play, my franchise all the way through for as long as I could. And I bought every Madden. I remember when PlayStation 2 was coming out, and they were showing footage of Madden for the PlayStation 2. Me and a friend of mine, we would be at work, and we would just pull up the new video, and we would be like breaking it down. We were like, oh my gosh, look at the detail. Like, oh, I can't believe how realistic this looks. Like, this was amazing. I mean, it was like leaps and bounds above what anybody had seen before. And it was insane. And I played every Madden on the PlayStation 2. PlayStation 3, I played all the Maddens. I think all the way up through, I think 2015. I played all the way through, and then I started to fall off a little bit. Just got older, and life was happening, and I had a kid and stuff by then. Actually, I had 2 kids by then, and it just was hard to find time to play video games, let alone devote seasons and seasons of time to Madden anymore. And
Right.
really just kind of fell off into a space where I didn't play it as often. And honestly, the PlayStation 4 versions just weren't all that great. The ones that I did play, it, they just had like a lot of bugs and glitches to them, and the gameplay was just sort of eh. And the franchise mode, which is what I live and die by, just wasn't really up to par. It was very lackluster, and it just kind of made me lose interest, really. Now I say that, and if I could figure out a way to like take my camera and like zoom into my shelf behind me, you would see there's like at least 4 or 5 versions of Madden on these shelves sitting behind me, including I don't have last year's Madden, but the year previous to that I have sitting there, but it's literally unopened. I bought it and then never ended up.
Was Madden himself the last one, or no? Josh Allen was last year.
Yeah, Josh Allen was last year. I think I have the one that has just Madden on the cover.
That's the last one I got too. I didn't get Josh Allen's.
Yeah, but I waited until it was on sale for like $20, like towards the end of the football season, and then picked it up.
Mine was a wonderful Christmas present from my brother-in-law, and he got me like the Steelbook cover with Madden on it.
Yeah,
and I was like, dude, like I did low-key want it because it was Madden and it was fresh off him passing, and I don't know. That's the only Steelbook video game I have. And it's that was a really cool one to have.
Yeah. So, but now that CMC is on the cover and it's the first Niner to grace the cover of Madden, I mean, my interest is peaked again. I'll probably pay a little bit more attention to the Madden info when they start putting it out. Right now they're focused on NCAA and trying to get everybody's attention on that. So, but once they roll past July here and they start putting out some info on Madden, I'll probably pay a little bit more attention to that. I'll probably lean a little bit more heavy towards picking the game up this year just because Christian's on the cover. I probably still won't pay full price for it just because it'll go on sale within a month of it being released. So, I mean, I'll get it for, $50 instead of $70. But I'll probably pick it up just so that I can have the Niner in the house and have that cover and probably enjoy that. So whether or not I'll actually play it or not remains to be seen. I really only have a limited amount of time to play video games now, and I kind of just play one game at a time. So, I got to get through the one game that I have in the chamber right now. So, but definitely excited that he's on the cover.
I'll definitely get the game from Disc Replay when it's on sale too. Like that's our like media pawn shop, so to say. It's not a formal pawn shop, but it's basically like movies, video games, and like random game related memorabilia, like pop figures. I'll buy it from them when it's like $30 or $40 and used.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm excited for it. I admit to being a superstitious person. So
that was my next question: is the curse? How do we think the curse is still alive though? Because Patrick got a Super Bowl win. Didn't he get a Super Bowl win when he was on the cover with Brady?
The curse hasn't seemed to really be in much of an effect for the last few years. I mean, Josh Allen was on the cover last year, and I mean, by all measures, Josh Allen had a pretty decent year of football. I mean, he didn't win the Super Bowl, but okay. I mean, like, if that's your measure of Madden curse, then I mean, everybody's been cursed since the dawn of time. I mean, there's been tons of people that haven't won the Super Bowl that have been on the Madden cover.
His season last year, I wouldn't put near catastrophe at all. Like,
yeah.
I think the last time we had a catastrophic Madden cover might have. Well, Antonio Brown didn't even go crazy that year when he was on the Madden cover. So
no, he didn't. Yeah. So I mean, I would have to look back. Maybe I'll do that while you're talking about something. But I would have to look back through all the Madden covers and see like the last time that somebody actually had something happen catastrophic and be on the cover. But the curse just doesn't seem to have been a real thing the last few years. So I hope and pray for the sake of our team that it doesn't rear its ugly head this particular season. For the majority of the time McCaffrey's been with the Niners, he's been healthy for the most part. I think he missed a game or game and a half or whatever it was last season. So, he's the grease that makes everything go for the Niners right now. And they can't afford to lose him for more than, 1-2 games, maybe something like that. So, I hope and pray that, the Madden curse stays away and he just has another spectacular season and continues to show out like he has the last couple seasons.
I couldn't agree more. The Madden curse hasn't really been that relevant. And I think that's unfair and morbid to count the Madden one because he got on the cover after he passed away. So let's not overstate that one. But no, the Bills never make the Super Bowl. I don't read into Josh. Josh still objectively had a really good season too. So I don't know. There's some things I'm superstitious about. I'm not really with the Madden cover. It was just kind of a fun coincidence. When I was younger, and now I just don't care either. In terms of deserving it too. I don't know. We get MVP fatigue, I think, with Patrick Mahomes or some of the other guys. It would have been cool if Justin Jefferson was on it. He would have deserved it. If they went young with CJ for being offensive rookie of the year, to give him a guy that young to cover, that'd have been cool. But no, Christian 100% deserved it. And I'm going to buy it probably just for that. I haven't played my Madden in a long time, even though that's more because my controller's broken. But I don't want to pay $60 for a new controller that's not made by GameCat or whatever whatever the knockoffs are.
Mad Cats.
Yes, Mad Cats. There we go.
Yeah.
if that doesn't show my age.
Right. Yeah. I'm looking back through some of the covers right now, and just I'm not really doing an intense amount of research here, but I went all the way back to Madden 12 and Peyton Hillis before I got to one that was reminded me of the
one-hit wonder.
Yeah, reminded me of a Madden curse. We had Calvin Johnson, which I don't remember him having a terrible season. We had the Barry Sanders one that you were talking about. We had a Richard Sherman cover, which, I don't remember. It was Sherman. So, whatever. He probably had a fine defensive season. Then we had Odell on the cover. Maybe Odell had a bad season that year. I don't know.
I don't think Odell ever after his peak season with the Giants, he's never recaptured it then. So he would have had it after that probably was his sophomore season. Yeah.
And then we had Gronk, and then we got Brady, and then we got Antonio Brown, but it was before he went completely cuckoo. We have Patrick Mahomes and Lamar, and then Brady and Mahomes, and then Madden. So,
and then Josh.
Yeah, and then Josh. So, the last whatever, I just rattled off a bunch of them, but, it's been 6 years since somebody's had a really bad, Madden curse. And the last one would be, I guess, Beckham, if we're going back that far.
Yeah. And I'm never happy when James can't be with us. James had to miss this one, but I know he would egg it on with, well, now you got the Madden curse. You already weren't going back to the Super Bowl because you were in it last year, and the Eagles are going to I am just messing with him, but it would just be fanning the flames a little bit. Well, now you're definitely not making the Super Bowl. Now Christian's going to blow his ACL. Let's just not put that in the air because one, it's BS, and then two, just don't do that. Please don't give me an aneurysm for that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and if we're looking back, so Beckham was on the cover of Madden 16, which I'm not gonna math all that out, but I don't.
It's just the 1 year before. 16 would have been the one for the 15 season, so I think that was his second season.
So then he was great that season. He had 1,400 yards and 13 touchdowns
in 2015.
Yeah.
Oh, then yeah, he broke the curse then.
Yeah. So he was fine. So now you're going all the way back to Sherman, which he's a defensive player. So whatever.
The Madden games are like car models. They're always made with the name of the year after. So if you bought like a 2015 car, it was made in 2014.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, Madden 16 would have been the 15 year.
Yeah. So yeah, he had his best season actually that year. So
Well, there we go. The Madden curse is BS.
Yeah. So for the last 9 years, the Madden curse hasn't really done much.
Yeah. No, I agree. I just thought I saw a couple blurbs of like, oh no, is the Madden curse coming back? Like, let's don't put it out there so it's not a thing, please.
Right.
Like,
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, everybody's going to talk about it. It's going to be a topic, of course. And I mean, obviously we're talking about it. So, I mean,
we're in the middle of June too. What else do we have to talk about?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to be a thing, but just the past history of the last 9 years would show that, relatively speaking, unless you measure, did you win the Super Bowl as your measure of success of the Madden curse, people can go on and still have fairly successful years, even though they've been on the cover of Madden. So, hopefully he goes out, has another offensive player of the year type season, and is pushing Purdy for MVP again, like we had last year, right? I mean, like, how much did we talk last year where it was like, who's really the MVP? Who's really the MVP? Is it Purdy or is it CMC, right? That was part of the discussion in the second half of the season.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know. Yes, call it biased and we're a Niners podcast, but no, the Madden curse, even up to now, the Madden curse was dumb. And I'll use that as a segue. His motivation to have an even better season, not just because he's on the Madden cover, but he got the bag. Like I said, I didn't even realize until a couple weeks ago that he did have some murmuring about wanting a new contract, but looking at it, he just won Offensive Player of the Year. None of his money was guaranteed on the 2 years he had left. So this was not a traditional season, or this was not a traditional contract extension that he was asking for. It was hey, I got no money guaranteed, so if I get injured, I'm kind of screwed. Like, let's do something. I just won Offensive Player of the Year, and I'm the reason you could argue I'm the reason we got to the Super Bowl, which that's not this episode. But the Niners said, yeah, no, of course, man, let's get something done. So at face value, the contract was a 2-year, $38 million extension, and it had $24 million guaranteed, which you can interpret as the 2 years that he had left on his contract. They went ahead and just guaranteed that. It's not quite that exactly, and I have it right here, how it all breaks down, and I'm going to blow it up on my end too so I can actually read it. Yeah, this is the current state of Christian McCaffrey's contract. And looking at it now, the way that everyone talks, well, how did you get more money with the cap getting less money? Guys, I'm going to coin this phrase. This was a cap shuffling contract. This wasn't your traditional actual contract extension when you get 4 or 5 years added on to your final year. This was literally all for cap purposes and giving Christian more financial security hand in hand. And it worked out for both of us because he's got the $24 million guaranteed, which if that's all he wanted, cool. But what we did do is shuffle the money. Like I said, you can see his cap hits were, before this refreshed, they were going to be 12 million and change on 24 and 25. And now we reduced it to 6.5 and almost 10, like 9 and change. So we freed up. Yeah, that's how we freed up $7 million in cap space for this year, and then $3 million for next year. Given that, though, yes, we did tack on a bunch of void years, so we are going to be paying him basically $5, $10, $12 million when he's 32, 33, and 34. Even though he will probably not be on our roster by then. That's i.e. how a void year works. But that's how you get the symbiosis of everybody's happy. We assume that the cap is going to keep going up and up and up because of broadcast deals and attendance and all that minutia. So we've taken the philosophy of you will get paid. It's just a matter of letting us pay you later. We're going to guarantee it, but the payouts are just going to be through trickles in order to take the gamble that the cap is always going to keep going up. Like, I hope listeners and viewers make sense. I hope this visual aid helps make sense of it. I know we talked off mic about it and we laughed that Christian McCaffrey is not getting a $25 million, costing us a $25 million cap hit at age 31.
No. I hope he doesn't plan on spending any of that money.
No, that's obviously that's when the guarantees are based on how I'm reading this. The guarantees should be done. Because the $24 million guaranteed, like I said, it's not the cap hits exactly. It's a $14 million signing bonus, the 24 salary, and 90% of his option of his, or sorry, $8.5 million of his option bonus. That's another way that this has been broken down. Like, you do have your base salary, you have a signing bonus, you have a team option bonus, which, let's be real, the option bonus it gets paid out unless you like really crap the bed. And then you get your game day roster bonuses, you get a very minuscule workout bonus, but this is how you can also shuffle the money around by dividing it up between a day of bonus that you can get broken up, because you see he has a signing bonus deferred into that first of 3 void years. And then the option bonuses that the team say, hey, you did great for us, here's your bonus, even though those can also be guaranteed too, just called option. But yeah, no, this is what I mean by it's a cap shuffling extension and not a truly traditional extension. I mean, I just hopefully I didn't melt any of your ears explaining that and making this math class. What do you take away from this, from looking at this contract?
Well, it's a good deal for both sides. I mean, Christian gets some guaranteed money that he didn't have. I mean, like you explained off the top, he was playing on 2 years, $12 million each year, but none of it was guaranteed. So, the reality of life in the NFL is everything is around the guaranteed money. So, and especially as a player like himself who has been hurt and hurt significantly in the past, not having that guaranteed money there was probably a bit of a concern for him. He's not going to want to be in a position where he gets some sort of, I don't even want to speak it into existence, but, something happens and, now he's out and the Niners cut him, because he had a horrific injury or something like that. Now he's walking on the street and, he's trying to find somebody to pick him up and they're not going to sign him for what he's making now. So totally understand him wanting to get that guaranteed money. And at the same time, for all the reasons you explained, this gives the Niners the flexibility to shuffle and rearrange all that money and spread that hit over a number of years. This is like 7 years. This is essentially going over, and gives them a little bit more cap flexibility here in the short term to be able to sign the people that they need to be able to sign. It gives them more money and more space to be able to sign Ayuk. Gives them more money and more space to be able to sign Purdy next year if they need to be able to do that. And, just gives them flexibility to hopefully carry cap over from this year into next year, which is what they did this year. So I know that's part of the plan of what they want to be able to do ideally. But it's also something that they like to have just as ammo around the trade deadline. They want to be able to go into the trade deadline with the ability to make moves and make a big splash if they want to, like they did this past season with picking up a player like Chase Young. I mean, that wasn't a great acquisition. It didn't turn out well, but it was a big move to make, something that they tried, and that was an expensive move to make, but they had the cap ammo to be able to do that, and they like to position themselves to be in that spot, and I think this is another excellent way to do that. When we get to 2026, probably 2027, like you said, there's absolutely no way Christian McCaffrey is playing in 2027 and getting $25 million at age 31. That's never, ever going to happen. So if he's still a 49er at that point in time, then there'll be another cap restructuring and another deal done, and they'll spread the $25 million that he's owed there out over a number of years and redo him at another 3-year deal for, $10 million a year at the time or whatever it is, and make the numbers work again. But they'll get something done if they have to. But a 31-year-old back at that point in time, I mean, who knows what the situation will be then.
Oh, exactly. I realized I was muted when I highlighted that, and attempted to interrupt you on accident. But yeah, that's where we stand right now. I highlighted it. Basically $32 million, technically 31.9, but we are sixth most cap space now that we freed up that $7 million from Christian McCaffrey's contract. That we'll see how that carries over into next year, because obviously everyone's salary, their cap hits all change into next year. But whatever we don't spend on that, either at the trade deadline or a late in the game free agent pickup, that will carry over. And then the cap will probably go up again. It's foolish to expect it to go up as high as it did between last year and this year, because that was just absurd. But yeah, no, it's like you and I've just explained. It's all about shuffling. You get paid eventually. You get paid eventually, but we got to play the cap game. So we guarantee a lot, but you might not get paid until like 2028.
Yeah, and that cap space number is going to go up again when they sign Ayuk, because right now he's playing on whatever it is. Well, I can see there it's like a $14 million deal there for his 5th-year option. Well, when they sign him to a contract extension, that number is going to come down. So our cap space is going to go up even further, because that number is going to come down for this next season. So he'll probably be playing on a stupid like $2 million deal with, $100 million guaranteed in the bank somewhere. But, his actual cap hit will be something ridiculously tiny, because he's going to have a low cap number this year and next year, and hopefully one more year after that. But, they're going to have to keep his cap number low so that they can fit Purdy's contract in. So,
yeah, which will lead me to asking the question. I know I said this was all a Christian episode, but looking at this and seeing the time we're at, I do want to entertain the thought. I'm surely you've seen the murmurs that Trent wants an extension. What do you think of
Trent wants his money?
Well, hear me out. Look at his cap hit. It's $31.5 million.
I know.
If we just have to guarantee him a little bit of money, actually, hold on. I'm not in the right thing here. How much more guaranteed money does this dude have? Like, for real, how much more of it's actually guaranteed?
I think a lot of it, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, he actually passed an opt-out year. No, his 5 of his 23. No, we're past his guaranteed money based on this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, because we signed him in 21.
Okay.
And 21, 22, and then 5 million of 23 guaranteed, and then 10 million of the 23. Yeah, based on this, we were at a potential opt-out year. So, no, he's 36, but look at these cap hits. 31.5, 34, 37.7.
I love Big Trent's contract. It makes me laugh.
If he wants to, if we could definitely play ball with that and fluctuate it around and restructure it. So if we hit the number of guaranteed that he wants, and he doesn't like hold us by the nards to like, I still want 100 million guaranteed at 36. Like, we can definitely fluctuate that around and keep him from being a $30 million burden on the cap and reallocate it to Purdy and Brandon's contracts.
Yeah, I'm not nearly enough of a capologist to be able to break that down and understand how to make that happen. Because to me, like, there was a point like 10 years ago where like I understood the NFL salary cap, like it made sense to me, and like I could talk fairly intelligently about it. And like the salary cap has now passed me by, because they literally just like magic money around. Like, it doesn't make any sense anymore. It really doesn't. We've talked a number of times on this show about the different contracts that guys have, and it's just like, a guy makes like no money, and then he has like $100 million in like 1 year, and it's like, this doesn't make any sense. But it's because it's not what Pat McAfee says. I got so mad when I saw Pat McAfee like, oh right, bro,
Christian's making 19 million a year, like, and just with his hype up cruise, like, that's not how the cap works.
Yeah.
That's not how you're a player. That's not how any contract worked. Like,
yeah. So I don't understand the math behind it anymore, and that's okay. I'm all right with it. But I mean, I don't know. Trent is old for a football player, and Trent has gotten hurt the last couple of years and missed a couple of games. And so I don't know. I'm kind of sketch on overextending ourselves any extra for him and putting ourselves, I guess, further into a cap hole for Trent. Like, I don't know that I want to have void years out there till Trent's like 44, paying him money just to lower our cap. I think if we can get by with it, it might just be better to just sort of eat it and be able to just kind of just be done with it when he's 38 and it be off the books, rather than kind of having him be this sort of albatross that just sort of never goes away for a really long time. So I don't know. I would have to have somebody much smarter than me explain away how you could kind of make that work. I mean, if you could make it work like you're saying, then maybe I would be interested. I don't know about renegotiating the contract of a somewhat often injured 36-year-old tackle that already makes $30 million. I don't know that I want to guarantee him. I don't know that I want to guarantee him a lot of money.
well, here's a real linchpin in it too, that now looking closer at it, what his dead cap would be. Like, we're not assuming he's gonna like hit the skids this year. Like, 29.8 million. Like, it would be trying. That's a lot of money. That's almost what this is worth. But if we're comfortable paying him this much and not asking him to do another restructure or rework the contract to get like an option bonus, because he doesn't have an option bonus. He's got the signing bonus. He already has proration from one restructure that resulted in this void year, but he never got an option bonus. He never accepted, or they didn't even offer him an option bonus. Like, it was just straight up like, we did one restructure, you have a big signing bonus, and then we're just going to backload it, and we're at the point where it's backloaded. So, I mean, if we let him go next year, that's still the way it is now. We'd still be eating $19 million. Like, it's not $34 million, but like,
well, if we let him go next year, we'd be on the hook for 11 plus 19. So what's that? 31 million. I mean, like 31 million over the next 3 years.
Where are you getting the 11?
Because he's on the hook for 19 next year, and then 8 in 26 and 3 in 27. Those are his cap hits, his remaining cap hits, 25, 26, and 27.
Oh, no, see, you don't add those up. Like, the void year we would still... the void year we would pay. So it would be, in total, it would be 22 million, because that would get accounted for it, but that would not.
Okay.
So no, if we cut him after this season, we'd eat 19 million plus 3.6 million, but not that other one.
Oh, so you don't add the 8 to the 19?
No.
Okay. So
yeah,
then,
no.
So I mean, like, if I have to eat 22 million because Trent is done, that's fine. I'll eat 22 million. That's nothing in this particular world anymore. I mean, there's teams. The Denver Broncos are eating like 80 million in salary cap this year. So I mean, like, who cares, right? I mean, like, it's fine,
right?
So yeah,
it's
like 22 million, fine. I eat that, no problem.
If I did I would love for someone to comment me and tell me, like, if I'm interpreting this wrong. Like, I really want to be a capologist. Like, I was historically bad at math, but I really like statistics and things like this. I really like analyzing contracts, whatever form of math you would want to call that. Like, yeah. I don't know. This crap is just fascinating to me. Like, I don't know. I shouldn't be someone's accountant. I'm not saying I want to get into accounting, but I should not be someone's accountant. But I like looking over other people's work, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah.
I like keeping track of people's chickens. Isn't that what Lynch said was keep track of your chickens?
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep track. Take care of your mentals. Take care of your chickens. That's what it was.
Yeah. Okay. So if you click the little scissors, it pops up a whole window and it explains it all to you. So if we cut him in 2025, then if you do it pre-June, it's a different dead cap and a different savings. And if you do it post-June, it's a different dead cap and a different savings.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I
it explains it
see.
all to you.
I see. Yeah, no, post June 1 and pre June 1. Yeah, post is way cheaper than pre. That's why when everybody gets cut, it's always like a post.
Yeah.
It's almost always a post June cut.
Which again, you can cut a guy in March and be like, nope, we really cut him in June. Which I'm just like, again, none of this makes any sense.
A semantic designation. Like,
yeah,
that's why the money for Arik didn't come off our books yet until 10 days ago, because he moved to Florida. He was definitely living in Florida in March, April, May,
yes,
and June, but
yes. And practicing with the Jaguars.
But yeah, he wasn't formally off our books, even though he signed with Jacksonville until June 1st. Like,
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, it just doesn't make any sense anymore. It's just like we cut a guy in March and it's like, oh no, but we didn't really cut him until June 1st.
It's so arbitrary too, because that has nothing. That's nowhere close to what the official league start is, because that's March 15th when free agency starts technically.
I mean, I would love to know the rationale behind why anybody just randomly picked June 1st as the day for that. So
I don't know. I just like studying it. I don't know the whys. I just want to understand the hows. And especially with us right now, because I still remember 7 years ago, John Lynch just was giving people blank checks, and now we're paying for it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, I mean, they clearly have a plan and they clearly have a strategy. And that strategy is to, extend everybody over the very long term, to kick a lot of that stuff, down the road, worry
void
about
after
it.
Void after void after void.
Yeah. Worry about it later. But they're not unique in that sense. There's a lot of other teams that are doing that. We focus on the Niners a lot, obviously. But I mean, I know the Browns do that as well. There's a couple other organizations. The Eagles are doing that as well. So, I mean, like, that seems to just kind of be the new trend and the new way to sort of manipulate and get around the salary cap. And I keep expecting the NFL to sort of just, at some point in time, clamp down on these void years, because they're just mythical years that people are attaching to contracts that don't really exist. I mean, it's like, it's just like me saying, like, well, I'm going to pay you, $100, but really I'm not going to pay you $100 today. I'm going to pay you $25 today, and then $25 over the next 3 weeks. Right. I mean, it's like, it's absurd.
I just wanted to show this. I know we're getting close to time, but I just wanted to show this because I know Kittle and Warner both have done multiple restructures. This was more alarming to me than Warner's. Warner's didn't kick that much money down the road. Look how much money got kicked down the road on Kittle's contract. Look how flexible he's been.
Yeah.
He's only worth $12 million on the cap this year, 21 next year, but he's kicked. Oh, good Lord. That's 13, 17 and a half, 18, $20 million over 3 void years.
Yeah.
That's so much money of his $75 million total value contract.
Yeah. Yeah. So, which, I mean, let's be honest, he's due $21 million next year. He's not going to get $21 million next year. So is this the last season of George Kittle being a 49er? Because otherwise he's going to have to drastically restructure his contract next year, because he's not coming back at $21 million. So what happens there? I mean, that's an interesting topic and an interesting subject for the off-season podcast that we have next year. But I mean,
this is the first year that he's cost more than $10 million against the cap since he signed his extension. This is the first year he's cost over $10 million because of the way that he's restructured his contract.
Yeah. But I mean, just looking at that, I can tell you right now, there's no way they're going to pay him $21 million next year.
Oh yeah, no. At 32, no.
Yeah. And
Like,
I mean, like, let's be realistic. I mean, I love Kittle. Kittle's a great guy. I mean, he brings a huge vibe and a huge energy to the team, and he's such a key piece of everything that we do. And, you know, God love it. Finally, he kind of got unlocked with Purdy last year, and we finally saw more of that Kittle that we had been hoping to see since whatever it was, like 2021 or whatever year it was that he actually had a really good season before. But, you know, he'd kind of not really been a big factor offensively. I mean, he'd always had a lot of hype, and it always been a lot of promise, and always a lot of just, you know, a lot of real good, you know, buzz, but never really kind of delivered. He'd always been putting up, you know, 700-ish yards and, you know, 4 or 5 touchdowns a season. Like, he hadn't really been. Now, he'd been great blocking, and like I said, he's a great team guy. I mean, he's wonderful for the team, but he hadn't really been putting up the numbers. Now, last year, he put up the numbers. He was great. But, I mean, you know, if he's not going to keep putting up those numbers, I mean, we can't afford to keep paying him $10 million, $12 million a year. I mean, it's just not sustainable in any way, shape, or form. And I don't even care if he is putting up those numbers. He's not getting 21.
I could see him being a guy that takes a like a short term, like, not pay cut. I could see him taking a short term, like, 2-year, $30 million contract. And then we just like pay him like 6 million, then 6 million. And then there's the rest of it as like a void year. Like, I could see him taking a below market or hell, like a 2-year, $20 million extension, just accepting his age. And he still wants to be with the team. Like, if someone's going to take a team friendly third contract, I could see it being George.
I would certainly think so. I would think that he seems like the right kind of guy. He seems like the right kind of mentality. He seems to really love playing for the Niners and being a Niner. I would think that of all of the people on the team, there's a couple others, but I would think that he would certainly be one of the guys that would come back and say, you know what, I'm good. Restructure my deal. You know, I'll, you know, unlike Eric Armstead, I'll take that pay cut to stay on the team, chop me down. You know, I've still got my void years and my guaranteed money that I'm going to get anyways. So, you know, I'll restructure, like you said, you know, maybe 2 years, 20 million, something like that, whatever it is. I'll play out till I'm 35 or whatever it is, or 34, and I'll be done. You know, I'll just retire.
Right. It's God. I don't
I'll
want
go I'll go into professional wrestling.
God, I don't even want to think about who's going to be up for contract next year. We're just now like, Ward, shut up. We'll get to you when we get to you. Kittle, we'll get to you when we get to you. Warner, no, Warner's not next year. He's the year after. But no, everyone else that's not Trent Williams or Brock Purdy or Brandon Ayuk, shut up. Like,
Yeah,
we don't have time for you right now.
yeah. Well, I mean, Purdy's it next year. I mean, assuming that Purdy goes out, and we talked a little bit about this offline, but, you know, assuming that Purdy goes out and has another year like he did last year, I mean, he's going to be a $55-60 million a year quarterback. I mean, that's just what the market is going to bear, whether or not that's realistic or not, or, you know, we think that that's feasible or not. That's going to be what the market is going to be, and that's what they're going to have to pay him after. If he puts up the numbers that he did last year again this year, that's what they're going to have to pay him, and that's what all of their energy and everything is going to have to be devoted to and focused on before they can do anything else.
Yeah, it's going to be a 5-year $270 million or a 5-year $275 million. Like, divide that up, that's $54 million, or it's $55 million. Like, I'm calling it now. It's going to be damn near 300 million over 5 years. Like, how close to 300, we'll see. But it's 5 years, 270 absolute minimum. He will not go lower than 54.
No, what's the high water mark right now? Who's got the
55 with Joe Burrow. Or 53 with Joe Burrow. Unless Patrick restructured his contract to go over him.
So then if Purdy has another season like he had last season, he'll beat Burrow.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, if it's going to be the pissing match and I got 54, like, that's what I mean. It's a 5-year 270 contract, absolute minimum.
If God willing, he takes us to the Super Bowl and we win, he'll hit 60.
Oh my God. Blow the cap out of the water. Christian Kirk did it, and now Justin Jefferson did it. It's Purdy's time.
Christian Kirk.
Dude, remember when he blew up the market at 25 million?
Yeah, that was just like what, 2 seasons ago?
Three or four, or three.
No, it was just 2 seasons ago.
That was 2. Jesus Christ! In 2 years now, Justin Jefferson's making 35 million a year. Jesus Christ!
Yeah, Christian Kirk set the bar at like 21 million 2 seasons ago, and now Justin Jefferson's at 30 billion dollars, whatever it is, some stupid.
God, and I mean, we'll see. Brandon's not going to reset the record, but Jamar Chase definitely is going to try to. God willing, and God bless him if he can in Cincinnati.
If Chase has a great season, he'll overcome Justin. Well,
he's got to overcome the cheap ass Cincinnati owners.
Yeah, I was gonna say he would beat Jefferson, but then I was like, not in Cincinnati.
Joe Burrow, a wide receiver doesn't have the same pull that a quarterback does. So I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
But nope, I'm seeing here we hit the 45-minute mark. I think that should put a bow on this. Mostly Christian, half cap episode.
Yeah.
And we need to give a little bit of a shout out to our sponsor, RoyalRetros.com. They're still with us and we still love them. RoyalRetros.com is your go-to place to go get yourself an authentic throwback jersey, whether it's football or any of the other major sports. They got you covered. Basketball, baseball, football, soccer, whatever you prefer to call it. They got you covered. Check out the Candlestick collection. It is curated with the Bay Area in mind. And when you find something that you like, use the promo code Shady Sports and you will get 10% off of your entire order, not just the one item. It's your entire cart. Again, it's promo code Shady Sports when you check out at RoyalRetros.com to get 10% off of your entire order. It helps us out. It helps Sam and Shady Sports Network out. Last time, go to RoyalRetros.com and use promo code Shady Sports to get 10% off of your order. Go get yourself an authentic throwback today. Also going on, guys, we are still raising money for charity. I'm a bad producer and didn't have that prompt up because I butchered their name last time. I took this from James or had to do this for James. Mountain Comprehensive Care Center. There we go. We are still raising money for Mountain Comprehensive Care Center because we think that there is a big discrepancy in accountability between players and owners. That's why we started this hashtag owner accountability, because we think owners need to be held to the same standard as players. We've talked ad nauseum about Daniel Snyder. The Panthers owner is the new maniac. I've shared my feelings about Jim Irsay too, even though I wouldn't say he's criminal. He's definitely not criminal. I won't go that far, but there are owners that act borderline criminal. Like our principal owner definitely was involved in a lawsuit that you can read about. So in order to help raise money for this Kentucky Crisis Center, we have designed these shirts that are still available today. This is our more standard shirt, so to say. It's got our hashtag on it, owner standards over player standards, hashtag owner accountability. This one has the most variety of colors. You got all the styles that you want, long sleeve, short sleeve, hoodie. All the proceeds of these shirts I'm going to show you will go to charity, pricing starting at $22.99. Our next shirt is our cover art. If you listen to us on a podcast platform, this is our show cover art. Again, pricing starting at $22.99. You get all your different designs if you want it long sleeve or short sleeve. Our alternate show art. I love this one. James wears this one all the time. So it's proof that these shirts are amazing from bonfire.com. You can get that there. Again, this one's got a couple colors, not as many as our standard shirt, but all the different styles available to you. And then our last shirt is our Niners mascot. It's a peanut eating peanuts with his hat on like me, patiently waiting for, I guess he's just going to kill time watching the Giants front office on that front office edition of Hard Knocks, which I say that, but I can't lie. I'm probably going to watch it too, at least the first episode, and just see what the vibe of it's going to be. I can't lie. I'm a Hard Knocks junkie. I've loved that HBO's decided to expand it. We know the Giants are the front office. We know that the Bears are the training camp team, but we don't know what the in-season division is yet. That's yet to be announced.
Get
But
off the Bears jock, man. Get off the Bears jock. I'm so sick of them.
Anyway, guys, those are our shirts. We're raising money for again, Mountain Comprehensive Care Center. The link to their website is going to be in the show notes, as well as the link to bonfire.com. Go ahead and get all of those shirts. And guys, that's all we got for this episode. We will be back. This episode was delayed by a day, but we will be back on Friday. Don't know what we're going to be talking about yet. Don't even know if James will be here. We're still kind of TBD on that, just full transparency. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't really see anything newsworthy other than Mike Tomlin got extended by the Steelers. I know that was a big deal last year that he was on the final year of his contract, and then lo and behold, he hit 500 again, and there you go. You still got your coach, guys. Like, was he really going to go anywhere? Really? Like,
I mean, I think the Steelers have had 3 coaches in my lifetime. And so, I mean, that's
it's been Mike Tomlin since 2005.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's been the most stable franchise, I mean, of any of the franchises in the NFL for 48 years. So, I mean, I don't know what to do. So
he's now the most, he is the most tenured coach now that Bill's gone. Like,
he would have to be. Yeah.
I asked that as a question, but I also feel very, very confident that he has to be the most tenured coach, because John Harbaugh was hired, I want to say, in 08 or 9. Like, John Harbaugh.
It's either him or it has to be either him or Harbaugh. I think it's Tomlin.
Yeah, honestly, like every other team that comes to my mind is like a coach less than 5 years with their team. Like,
yeah.
Except for Kyle. Kyle's on year 7. Sean McVay's got to be on like he got hired after, so he's on year 6.
Yeah, I mean, Reed's been there for a little while now too. So I mean, like, there's guys that are in the like high single digits.
Yeah,
but no one's close to Tomlin other than Harbaugh. So I mean, but I mean, good. I struggle with this because, like, I think it's a really good accomplishment, and I would never crap on the fact that he manages to finish with a winning record every season, because, I've said it every single time. I mean, there are franchises out there that would absolutely kill to have that kind of consistency and have a winning record. I mean, like, as much as Browns fans hate the Steelers, they would absolutely just kill themselves to have a winning record, every year for the past, 18 years or whatever it is that Tomlin's been coaching. But at the same time, like, they're also trapped in mediocrity sort of, for most of this time too, although they did have a lot of success when Roethlisberger was there. I mean, they won 2 Super Bowls, but,
went to 3.
Yeah. I mean, they're sort of in the land of the lost here for the last, 5 years, probably something like that, as Roethlisberger sort of declined. And then the Kenny Pickett experiment that went horribly wrong. But, I'm a big believer in Tomlin. I don't even, I've never even been coached by him, and I would already run through a wall for the guy. So, I mean, like, I don't think you can go wrong backing that guy and supporting him as a coach. And I would ride him until the wheels fall off. So, I mean, what more can you ask?
All you need to know about him is that since he got hired in 05 or 4, whichever one of those years, he has not been under 500. It may have been an 8-8 year, but you've never had a losing record in like 17 seasons. Do you really need to know anything else about this coach? That's unheard of.
Yeah. And I mean, ultimately the name of the game, we play to win the game. And I mean, that's what he does. He wins games. So, I mean,
he's my entire conscious following of like really deep diving into football. He's the only Steelers coach that I've been aware of. Like, and no, congrats to them. Like, hopefully, I in the spirit of sportsmanship, hopefully they can get over the hump, like, and stop being this 8-9 win team. Like, in the spirit of, I don't want to face them in the Super Bowl, but in the spirit of sportsmanship, like, hopefully Tomlin can get over the hump with whichever quarterback ends up starting.
Well, it's probably not going to happen this year, but
I in the spirit of sportsmanship, damn it. Well, that's all we got. We're going to be back on Friday, guys. Sorry. Did you anything you want to say as we sign off?
No, I looked through the news real fast, and it's all just a bunch of just kind of like camp mumbo jumbo. Like, guys are excited for this. Rodgers is skipping camp. You know, people look good in camp. Blah blah blah. It's just a bunch of nonsense. So
this guy's never looked. This guy's as good as he was when he was 20. Okay, yeah. I've heard that before.
Bryce Young looks fantastic in camp. Sure he does. Yeah, I mean all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, all those cliches.
Yeah.
Well then, guys, I think with that, we'll be back on Friday. At least the two of us. We'll let you know if James is back, and we'll let you know what we're going to be talking about. So until then, outro music is River Road by Justin Muth, and stay tuned for a special ad from James. We'll catch you all on Friday.
See ya.
River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long. River Road, where have all the women gone? Have they kissed her hand and waved you bye-bye? Have they thought about crossing your double yellow lines? River Road, they love the way you